with our residents. Through research and prudent planning, we seek to minimize risks by improving municipal services. We are sensitive to the needs of our taxpayers while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. And finally, the hearing is being recorded for sound and video by a camera, and you can, so any interested members of the public can watch the, if they're not here, can watch the meeting, can watch the drama or lack thereof unfold on the YouTube at a later date. All right, roll call.
Councilman Murphy. Councilman Court.
Here.
Councilman Corco.
Here.
Councilman Mignone.
Here.
Councilman Bartoloni.
Here.
Councilman Papaleo.
Here.
And Mayor Mascaritolo.
Here. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council work session of the regular meeting of February the 6th, 2012?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right. There is a proclamation declaring the month of March as Women's History Month. I don't know, do I have the proclamation up here? Denise, is anybody in the audience to accept the proclamation?
No, I don't know of, Mayor.
No? Okay. All right, let me read the proclamation. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force, working inside and outside the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women have particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in literature, teachings, and in the study of American history. Now therefore be it resolved by I, Sandy Mascaritolo, Mayor of the Borough of River Edge, in recognition to hereby proclaim the month of March 2012 as Women's History Month. Okay. Appointments and personnel changes.
Mayor, I move that we table the first appointment.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right. All right, that's tabled. We have the...
Can I ask a question on that, Mayor?
Go ahead.
Will we be bringing Miss Austin in, or is there questions for her?
Let's ask Councilman Papaleo.
Well, I talked to Alan, I talked to Sam about this appointment and the information that we had, or lack thereof. And so what we thought, what had been mentioned is that perhaps some sort of resume could be provided and could be reviewed. Someone could reach out to the zoning board. I'd be glad to do that. And then hopefully we'll either bring it up at the next council meeting or not.
Mayor,
Yes.
I have a larger question. Does the MLUL permit us to decide who the zoning board attorney is, or can mayor and council just fix compensation and the board chooses their own professionals?
My understanding, I'd have to look at it. I would like to look at it closer, but I believe the board can choose its attorney. What I had suggested to Councilman Papaleo, because I think there was an issue as to whether Michelle had sufficient background knowledge in land use law, that I could have her come to my office and give her 2 or 3 hours of my time and and basically review with her some of the aspects of municipal zoning law with her, and I'm sure I could bring her up to speed so that she would have a good grasp in going forward.
I just don't know, is this our jurisdiction to do that, or does the zoning board, did they act on this already?
I believe they did. I am assuming that. Okay, am I correct, Alan?
I don't have any knowledge of this particular situation at this time.
Because what would stop us to say then we don't approve of who they hired as their planner or as their engineer? Would that fall under the same kind of purview then, if the council chooses to table?
Well, I would like to look at that issue for you, if I may, rather than just give you an off-the-cuff answer.
I
This
did ask that question of Sam and
evening.
this evening, and he said he needed to look at it, and that's why we moved to table, because we couldn't answer the questions you just asked. But I do want to be part of the record that I did ask those questions. Sorry.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to add to that too. If we do stay with her and we have to use her, I don't think we need to put our borough attorney, bring his services to them, because it's our taxpayer money, or you can do pro bono or whatever.
I would do it pro bono.
Yeah, but the thing is that, we got to have, they got to work with us too on this, I think. I mean, you're giving your time, and your time is worth something. If they so strong about this person, she should be knowledgeable enough to do her job.
Ms. Austin is actually in the audience.
Oh, is she?
But my issue goes to...
All right, that's fine.
I'm just letting the council know.
So I said, my issue goes more than, do we even have the authority to appoint the zoning board attorney? I don't know if we do under the land use law. I know we can set the compensation and the establish of that position, but I don't know whether the council can appoint and unappoint.
Well, Sam's going to give us an opinion.
Sam will give us the opinion.
I'll give you an official opinion. I mean, I was asked this question this evening, so I didn't have a chance to really review it for you. Rather give you an off-the-cuff answer.
It has been our custom, as a courtesy to the council, to list these appointments for the purpose of ensuring that there is money in the budget, and so that the chief financial officer can certify that funds are available for the appointment. And then we do issue a contract to the individual to make sure rights are protected on both sides. So it has been our custom as to legally, whether you have the authority or not, the borough attorney will issue an opinion on that.
All right. Moving on to the next personnel change. There's approve the appointment of Casey Connors, 259 Adams Avenue, as a homeowner representative to the Rent Leveling Board as alternate one for a one-year term effective February 22nd, 2012. So you'll remember that we have vacancies on the Rent Leveling Board. We put it on the sign outside. Mr. Connors asked if he could serve as a homeowner representative, so I nominated him. That's about it. Is there any discussion on that particular appointment?
No.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the appointment?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next, there's a motion to approve the resignation of Robert Tennyson from the Zoning Board of Adjustment effective immediately. I can tell you that the Zoning Board Chairman sent me an email indicating that Mr. Tennyson had to resign due to other commitments. I asked for a letter of resignation. I received one. Then the chairman asked me, or recommended, that I appoint one of the alternates that were on the zoning board. So I nominated Al Ruman. I know that's the next. Resolution on the appointment on the calendar. I understand that we're gonna pull it out for a separate vote. Pull it out for a separate vote. But anyway, let's approve the resignation of Robert Tennyson. Do I have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now approve the appointment of Albert Ruman to the Zoning Board of Adjustment to fill the unexpired term of Robert Tennyson to 12/31/12, effective immediately. Do I have a motion?
No.
All right. No one's going to make the motion.
I'll move.
All right, we have a motion. Do I have a second? All right, we don't have a second. The motion fails. All right. Motion fails. The seat is not filled. If the seat remains unfilled for 30 days, then council can appoint their own representative. Right, Sam?
Yes.
All right, next we have correspondence from River Edge Board of Ed, New Jersey Transit. We have the letter of resignation from Mr. Tennyson. It's all available to be reviewed by members of the public by seeing our borough clerk. We have ordinances we have monthly reports from the Board of Health. We have ordinances that are on for first reading. Ordinance number 759 is an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank for the calendar year 2012. Alan, could you just briefly describe that ordinance?
Yes, the state of New Jersey allows the mayor and council to raise the ceiling on spending appropriations from 2.5% to 3.5%. This does not mean that the council will spend up to that ceiling. What it does allow us to do is to use anything that is unused and place that into a capped bank for a future budget. So this just allows us to expand the cap on certain spending appropriations in the 2012 budget.
All right, do I have a motion to put that on for a second reading?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? We have ordinances on for a second reading. We have ordinance number 1753, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the Borough of River Edge, Chapter 400, Article 3, Traffic Regulations Turns. Is this the one about the Dunkin' Donuts?
Yes, it is.
Okay. This is to establish, what is it, no left turn sign?
Correct.
No left turn time at the Dunkin' Donuts near the corner of Midland and Kinderkamak. Do I have a motion to open the meeting to the public to comment on this ordinance?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak in favor of or against ordinance number 1753 establishing this no left turn sign from the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot? All right. Do I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right. Do I have a motion on the final adoption of ordinance number 1753?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, next we have ordinance number 1754, ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the Borough of New River Edge, Chapter 400, Article 4, Section 27, Schedule 1, prohibited parking at all times. Denise, what is this?
This one is on Lakeview Street, the police department asked for the no parking to prevent some accidents they were having.
Right, okay. This is Lakeview.
Yes.
All right, do I have a motion to open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 1754?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, is there any member of the public who wishes to speak for or against or comment on ordinance number 1754 establishing the prohibition on certain parking along Lakeview Avenue? All right, seeing no one, do I have a motion to close the hearing to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, do I have a motion for the final adoption of ordinance number 1754?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, that passes. Next, we have ordinance number 1755, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the Borough of River Edge, Chapter 400, Article 3, Traffic Regulations, Traffic Control Signals.
the Howland Avenue light
This is
thing.
the Howland Avenue light. All right, do I have a motion to open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 1755?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, is there any member of the public who wishes to comment upon, for or against, ordinance number 1755, establishing the traffic control lights at the corner of Kinderkamak Road and Howland Avenue, so that they can be enforced? All right, seeing no one, is there a motion to close the hearing to the public on ordinance number 1755?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, do I have a motion for the final adoption of ordinance number 1755?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, next we have ordinance number 1756, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances of the Borough of River Edge, Chapter 400, Article 4, schedules. Schedules of what?
This is what the police department had requested for Howland Avenue, the north side, Kinnicamack Road and Bogart Road, prohibited parking at all times. And also on Summit Avenue, we already have no turn with a barrier on Summit Avenue school hours, but they wanted to have it permanently one-way at a certain time between school hours for that street.
Okay. All right, so this ordinance amends certain traffic schedules for, what did you say, Howland Avenue to Bogart, and then Summit Avenue near the school. Do I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Is there anyone who wishes to speak on or about or in favor of or against ordinance number 1753? Yes, could you?
Peggy White, 741 Center Avenue. I'm looking at these times and wondering what's going to happen to those of us who are on poles that have to be there all day long from 5 o'clock in the morning. Are we going to have to get out? Because we always park on the opposite side of the street, because we can't park over by the school.
No one goes to school.
Denise?
The police department always works with me, they cover the signs on that day. And absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against ordinance number 1756? Do I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, do I have a motion for final adoption of ordinance number 1756?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, ordinance number 1757, ordinance amending, supplementing the revised general ordinances of the Borough of River Edge, Chapter 400, Article 4, Section 39, Schedule 13, location of crosswalks. I remember that, was it Lieutenant Curran who indicated that our crosswalks are not on a schedule in our ordinance book, and they needed to be. Do I have a motion to open the hearing to the public on ordinance number 1757, establishing a schedule for the location of crosswalks?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, the hearing is open to the public. Is there any member of the public who wishes to speak for or against ordinance number 1757 regarding the location and schedules of all of the crosswalks in the borough? Do I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? Do I have a motion for the final adoption of ordinance number 1757?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained? All right, and the last one is ordinance number 1758, an ordinance amending Chapter 384, Trees of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of River Edge. This is the tree ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, could I be heard for a minute on this?
Yes, yes.
I know that you have some concern with some parts of that ordinance, and I know we were trying to connect so we could
Right,
talk
right.
about them. In
Yeah,
addition,
we missed each other.
right, in addition, we received a memorandum from Bob Burns which lists about 14 items that he was concerned with. What I think would be the prudent matter in this is maybe to table this and carry it allow us to sit with Shade Tree, and I could also then solicit your thoughts on your concerns, so we can kind of bring this all together, rather than vote on it tonight.
All right, do I have a motion to table ordinance number 1758?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's tabled. And Liz, we'll be getting together and meeting with Sam, and we'll discuss revising it. Believe me, it'll take a while, but it'll be better than it was before.
Liz, have you seen this memo from?
I have.
Barbara?
We can address all of these issues very easily.
Yeah, I agree. We should meet and then talk about it and then try to address it.
Are there any other questions while we're here? I take off from work every time we come here, so if there's any other questions, I'd rather address. We'll meet and talk about this, but is there anything else that needs to be addressed?
Well, we just need to make sure that all of Bob Burns' questions are answered. I think some of those questions are answered by looking at the existing ordinance.
And, yes, correct.
Right. And I think there's a couple of tweaks that we have to do with Sam's version of the ordinance to make it clear where your jurisdiction extends to, that we can all work on together. And that's about it. I'm hopeful that we can get something accomplished. Yeah. All right, good. Resolutions by consent. Is there anyone who would like to pull out? Oh, I know we have 12-86, which is the new zoning board attorney. So I guess we should table that one until we've heard more from Sam, get Sam's opinion.
Yes.
Motion and second, Mayor? A motion and a
Is
second.
a motion, is there a second?
Yes.
Second.
All right.
And 1289.
And 1289 regarding the grant application?
Yes.
Is there a motion to table that?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstained?
I oppose.
All right. Let's take 1284 to 1285. Do I have a motion by consent to adopt those resolutions?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I didn't hear it from everybody. All right, now we have 1287 and 1288.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we have 1290. 1291, 1292, 1293. Can I have that consent, a motion by consent for those resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And if we could have Councilman Porco do the 1294 payment of the bills.
Whereas vouchers for the payment of goods and services rendered to the Borough of Riveredge have been received, and whereas each bill has been checked by the receiving department, approved by the Chief Financial Officer and Borough Clerk, and reviewed by 3 members of the Finance Committee. Now therefore be it resolved that bills as listed now be confirmed for payment from the appropriate funds as follows. Current account, $1,470,700.58. Capital account, $57,291.89. Recreation account, $1,293.19. Animal welfare, $253.20. Open space account, $690. Trust other developers account, $1,985. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll open the hearing to the public to speak on any issue. Do I have a motion? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's, right, 1295 is to go into closed session, and 1296 is to transfer of funds in the budget appropriation reserve. Do I have a motion by consent on those 2 resolutions?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And 1289, Mayor.
1289?
We took that out. We didn't vote on. Oh, we tabled?
It was tabled.
It was tabled? Okay.
All right, do I have a motion to open the public meeting to the public? Open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, is there anyone who's in the public who wishes to be heard on any issue? Yes.
Hi, I'm Joy Lamech on 148 Gordon's Avenue, and I have Carol O'Donnell and Tom Burns from the Gordon's Block Association, and I'd just like to publicly thank Mayor Marcetola and Councilman Tom Pappalardo for helping us and supporting us, and we truly appreciate it. I got a letter from Bob Costa. I went to the Super Bowl, so when I got back, it was like we won the Super Bowl, and now this is such a great letter that I got from him, saying that the town was generous enough to allocate funds for him to implement a design, to find a design to solve or resolve the flooding problem on Voorhees Avenue. And we will be attending that meeting this Thursday, and I just want to publicly thank you for it.
Well, don't thank us yet, because we're working on it.
Yeah, but it's
We didn't say we're going to fix
on
it.
TV, so. Thank you.
We're working on it, and you know, according
I'm sorry,
to...
all the council. Thank you.
And according to the presentation we had from this capital alternatives, even though we put money in the capital budget to fund that project, that drainage project, we might be able to get either some of that money back or get it funded through a grant, which is good news. All right, anybody else who wishes to speak? All right, do I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Council comments. Tom, we can start with you if you want.
Sure. Let me just bring this up. Sorry. Power saver. Will we be having liaison reports later, Mayor, or do you want me to fold in liaison reports too?
You know, I think council liaison reports were part of the work session meeting that we never finished. I don't know do we want to go back into work session? Do we want to finish the work session? Do we just want to roll everything in?
I think we have to go back to work
We have to
session,
go
but
back
if we
to
could
work
roll this
session,
in,
but-
I think we should roll it in now, because I think we got a lot to do later.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go back into work session.
I'll do liaison and comments. Okay, over the last 2 weeks, the fire department has had 3 fire education school classes come to the fire department. There were 2 groups of 10 special needs students. The third group was a group of 16 brownies. There was at least 5 firefighters and the chief present to host the groups. Within the last 2 weeks, a resident donated a pet/animal recitation to the fire department and has been outfitted on one of the fire trucks. There is an open house event for training officers and liaisons up at the Bergen County Fire Academy, and the 3 chiefs and Neil Carroll will be going, but I will not be able to attend due to a private commitment. I would like to highlight that out of all of the calls over the past 2 weeks, there were 2 fire calls, one in River Edge and one in New Milford, that our firefighters did a great job bringing the fires to a quick control situation, and we're grateful for their training and commitment. Finally, tonight our volunteers are again giving their time to the Tuesday drill night. Tonight's drill is a baseline drill where the firefighters take blood pressure, respiration, heart rate at rest, and then gear up and work out and record new rates. This is an important data to have to use to analyze and determine readiness. Comments. I'd like to say that I have facilitated introduction of Peter and Paul Zanzia, owners of the old Hoffman Coos property, and with ChainStoreAge.com, publisher Gary Esposito, and senior editor and real estate category manager Kathleen Field, I'm probably going to say her name wrong, but I'm going to try, Bocaccino. It is a campaign promise that I made that I'd work to help revitalize River Edge's commercial properties. I do want to disclose that Gary Esposito is my nephew and that he volunteered to offer free publicity for the Hoffman Coos property. This will be in news releases and site talk highlights, as well as perhaps at the National Convention for retailers. It is my hope that this introduction will foster a positive and desirable retail stores for our town. At the advice of the CFO and BA Alan Negri, I will be discussing with Council Sam Sarasity the proper level of separation that might be needed as the issue in regards to this property comes before the Council. Chain Store Age is both a monthly trade publication and trade website that is in the national forefront in regards to this retail. Their offices are on Park Avenue in New York City. Finally, I'm pleased to report that Chain Store Age is planning to this week publish one of many articles on River Edge redevelopment, starting with the old Hoffman Coos property and I just blanked, Total Wine. Thank you, Mayor.
Al?
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick on liaisonships, at the Riverdale Board of Education meeting on February 13th, they recognized the Riverdale girl volleyball team. They were the Group 2 state championship. They were 24-4 this season, and they ranked 3rd in the state of New Jersey. We may want to have them also come up and give them an award for that and recognize their efforts. The school musical this year is Willy Wonka. I couldn't find out if it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory or just Charlie and the Chocolate, but it's Willy Wonka. All 3 districts moved the elections from April to November, and budget packets were going out last week, and I believe it's tomorrow, or possibly, I believe it's tomorrow, Thursday, that the state will release its state aid figures for the schools. If you didn't see today's budget address from Governor Christie, there will be $213 million additional state aid he's proposing from last year. How that shakes out for the suburban districts, we'll have to wait till Thursday to find out, but Thursday the state aid figures are released. Hopefully it does benefit River Edge and Riverdale this year, and they get somewhat back to the funding that they'd had in previous years. That's all I have on liaisonships this week. The seniors were not at SCORE this week because of the holiday, and that's about it. In terms of just comments, we're still finishing up our budget. I mentioned this at the last budget meeting, but I'm going to mention again because there's more people here, and so people have an understanding as to what is impacting our budget this year. And there's several issues, and I just want to keep stressing them to people so that they understand what we're looking at and why we're going in the direction we may be going with our budget. But we had several issues that impacted the budget. Particularly this year, there's an increase in our line for the salary and wages for DPW for park maintenance. In 2010 and 2011, we did use open space funds for those wages. Open space funding was voted down in November, so approximately $136,000 has come back into our operating budget for this year as a result of not having any funds available for that. Additionally, there's another $118,000 in the budget, and that's for a reserve for uncollected taxes. And just so people understand what that is, in essence, and Alan can correct me if I'm wrong, but the municipality collects revenue for itself and the schools, and the state requires us to put money aside in a reserve to pay that money out even if we don't get it in. And over the last couple of years, the collection rate in River Edge on municipal taxes has continued to go down. In 2011, it was 98.41%. In 2010, it was 98.79%. And in 2009, it was 99%. Each of those small decreases results in a very huge increase in the amount of money that we have to put aside every year. So that is affecting our budget. Additionally, the Bergen County Utility Authority has increased its fee to the borough this year, not because of increased usage, it's just the way they decided to allocate their fees across the county, and that's $105,000. That's something we have no control over, but it does come into our budget if, it's nothing we can do about that. And also in our budget for this year is $174,000 for emergency appropriations for Hurricane Irene and the Halloween snowstorm. We're seeking aid from FEMA, but whether or not we actually get anything, who knows? But we have to budget for that. And also, I think probably the single most important thing and what's affecting our budget is this year we have $655,250 less in available surplus than we did the year before. And I know people may be tired of hearing it, but this town had a huge surplus in the middle 2000s. In 2004, there was over $9 million in the bank in surplus. And in 2007, 2008, and 2009, the council used almost $9.5 million in surplus for their budgets. And effectively, there's none left anymore. In 2010, there was $1.4 million, 2011, $1.1, and now today, there's only about $523,000 left in available surplus. So that continues to affect our budget. And so those are some of the issues we're facing. Thank you, Mayor.
Ed?
Thank you, Mayor. As I was unable to attend the February 6th meeting, I just wanted to belatedly congratulate our new police officers, Officers Roman and Sanchez. Wish them a happy, successful, healthy career with River Edge. And speaking with the chief, their training's going very well. He doesn't want to say they're ahead of schedule, but it seems like they may be getting closer to being on their own. And apparently they're doing very well integrating with the department, and it looks like we've made some very good decisions with respect to the hires, so I'm glad that's working out. Planning Board, we had the first hearing on the now Atkins application, 220 Kinderkamack Road, the 46-unit development down by Reservoir Avenue. There was testimony from the engineer and the architect, and the hearing will be continued on March 15th, where they'll be bringing in the, I believe, the traffic engineer and landscape architect. And lastly, I attended a gathering, I would say, of the Environmental Commission. It was a nice evening for three of us. We couldn't even have a quorum. It was very disappointing. Peg was one of the people there, and it's one of the issues I'll bring up at work session. But I had hoped we were going to be able to maybe add some members like we did with the beautification, but apparently by reading of the ordinance and the enabling statute, we can't. The number of members is set by the statute. I did a little research, and I believe it's the Association of Environmental Commissions, New Jersey, Municipal Environmental Commissions of New Jersey, do say that other towns have had this kind of issue, did enact enabling legislation to have other categories of membership, non-voting members or participation members. That's something I think we may want to consider. It's a shame. There's a lot of good ideas. There's at least a base of enthusiasm to do more, and we just need people to come out. Unfortunately, having an issue or a situation with an absentee policy really wouldn't benefit us to replace old members, because they only meet quarterly, and if you had to meet 8 meetings, you'd wait 2 years before you could replace somebody. So I think we really need to evaluate who's on the commission, their commitment to it, and maybe have the chairman send them a letter, see if they're still interested in participating or tendering their resignation, so we can get some new bodies on there, because it's a shame to see the few diehards who want to do something and we can't get people to cooperate. We can't even get a quorum for a meeting, a quarterly meeting, so it was very disappointing. We did talk about the river cleanup, which is their big annual project, which is in May, and again, under the work session, I'll be asking again, they did put in a request for some funding, a modest amount of funding to replace some equipment, but I'll bring that up during when we do the budget discussions at the work session. So, that's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Johnny?
Very happy to report that we got the borough meetings on video. Everybody can get there by going to the River Edge website, www.riveredgenj.org, and on the left side you'll see a link that says borough meetings on video. We'll continue to publish our meetings on there. We're going to look into getting the work sessions on there, and people can go there and stream the videos through YouTube. So far, not that this is 77 individual people that watched it, but there were 77 views. And I think that's really good because we really haven't talked about it much. This is our first meeting since we've gotten it up there. And the fact that there's been 77 individual views across only 3 of our videos, I think is a good number. And I know there was an article today, thank you, on the patch. So hopefully that viewership will go up and people will get tuned into our meetings. We may have to build up a little excitement to do that, but we'll work on that part. That's it.
Paul?
No reports, no comments.
All right, I'll report that I did, to keep council informed, I did speak to Paul Ciancia, one of the developers at the former Huffman Coos property. I wanted to know if there was any news to report as to where they were in their cleanup. I noticed that driving back and forth that they, for a few months, they had a lot of equipment on the site, and now it's gone. I was informed that they're done with their initial cleanup stage where they injected a chemical into the ground that reacted with any contamination there to make it, what's the word I'm looking for?
Attenuate.
Yeah, to attenuate it. He said they have to wait about a month. They have to test the monitoring well, see if the levels of perc that were in the groundwater have decreased. If they have decreased, then they'll get clearance from the Department of Environmental Protection to begin construction. So they said hopefully by the late spring, early summer, they might actually be ready to do something there. He did indicate that they had a commitment from Total Wine to enlarge the facility. They were looking at a tenant for the existing Total Wine store, and they're marketing through this retail website. Hopefully they're going to get some press on it for a store to fill up the middle section. Hopefully, some type of food market or grocery store. I've been meeting with Councilman Court so that we could come together and reach a consensus, work cooperatively with each other. We're going to continue to do so that we don't have major issues, or we can keep the major issues to a minimum. When I was elected mayor, I made a promise that I was going to be proactive in terms of economic development and proactive with grants. We had a grant consultant today. I hope that the council can move in short order to either hire capital alternatives or look at other grant consultants so that we can get the ball moving on grants, because there's money out there for all of these important public projects that we want to do, such as the drainage on Voorhees, such as getting DOT grants for our roads, to continue with the beautification project along Kinderkamak Road, those kind of things. I wanted to ask Alan, we received the bids on on the Cherry Hill Park for remediation of the soil. Are we going to put them on the agenda for awarding of a bid?
We would look at doing that on the March 5th meeting. I've asked the firm that's undertaking the review of the bids to see if we can have a report for February 27th work session to review that information and discuss it, and then make the award the following week.
And then everybody see the two bids that came in? One for $28,500 and the other one for $40-something thousand? All right, and we have money in the budget for that already?
Yes, we do.
All right, so, what can I say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't always get him to drink. But I'm still going to try. That's it. Do I have a motion to adjourn the public meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everybody. We're going to go back are we going to go into closed session?
No, we have an open work session on the budget, a few items on the budget
All right,
we're trying to resolve.
We're going to go into the work session and discuss the budget.